Oddly enough, I have been in the situation, like in the example, when I went to Colombia. We stayed. My host family were super wealthy. They had like a nice pool in their house. It was super great. But the places that we visited in Colombia were a totally different from my even like the host community, as far as like the neighborhood was more affluential. It was more grocery stores. It was very nice. It was because it was like in this part of Colombia it was hot water, but where we worked at, they didn't even have access to hot water. So that just shows like the differences. But as it responds to the host family, I wouldn't even get angry because they don't understand. They probably don't understand the intersectionality. They probably don't even understand the inequities that we face in America. They probably don't understand the damage that Americans has caused to other people, and which could be a reason that these women did not show up to the club. Not to the club, well, to the program, or these women probably didn't have a ride. So I would start off by the basics and saying, like, it has to be a reason as to why they didn't come. I don't think that they're just neglecting their program. I think that they don't have adequate ways to get there. Start with that. Then as I dive into the intersectionality, as far as when they are judging them based off having children out of wedlock. And I would have to explain to them that sometimes systematic oppression forces these rationalized behaviors that causes them to become impregnated, as far as like rape or just the stigmatism or male superiority, which they are in vulnerable sexual relationships in which they don't have much control of their self. And I will also explain what the program does and the way that the program tries to build the women's strength and empowerment. And then also the advantages of living with this family is that I guess that it will be, it's like you still have the sense of you're at home. You still feel kind of at home because you still have the same resources and food, but it's also you don't get that experience, and you can't, without the true experience, you can't truly empathize with them. So it's more like sympathy. I feel bad for them, so I'm going to go to the program in the morning and work with them, but I'm not going to live in their conditions because I don't feel comfortable. And I'm not saying that it's in the case with this scenario, but in general terms, it lacks that experience. But the disadvantage is that the family don't understand. And as I said, the disadvantage is you don't get that experience. And with this family, and also, as it was said in the little scenario, that at home you're more comfortable with it because it's you don't see it, but when it's around the corner, it's a problem. And that's what mostly a lot of issues today in America, they're hidden, so you don't see it, which goes back to my lesson when I discussed how the reason that systematic racism creates more larger income gaps than blatant racism, as in like there was more disparities now than it was in slavery, when it was legal for black people to be oppressed. And that's because since it was legal, they didn't have to hide it. So it's legal, you can't get this job because you're black. But now that it's illegal, they have to hide it. They have to use the system to work against us. They have to, I don't say us, but they have to use the system to work against certain marginalized populations. And the way it's set up is like almost inevitable for them to avoid this discrimination, this intersectionality. So intersectionality is like a really big thing. We even talked about this in my history class, as in like we don't live a single life, so we can't have like one single problem. So although they had a baby at a young age without a wife, that's probably not their problem. That's not a single problem. It's more to that story. Although they might want to make the best of the opportunity, they can't because they have no way there. And as the person said, he wants to live in the U.S. and he's happy that people are like going to come people from the U.S. They should be happy that people from the U.S. are coming to help them. They don't truly understand the damages that volunteerism causes to the population. Because a lot of people are single-minded on issues, so they think it's all good. Like, yes, these people have come all the way from another country to help us. In reality, they're causing more damage if you look at it. And it's not all damage, but in a sense that, like, you can't be so optimistic about a situation and call these people and judge these people based off a single story that you have of America and a single story. And like, as I said, it's no single story, it's all intersectionality. And that was pretty much the whole lesson.